Alright, okay, now that I've got myself set up, had a little inspiration from DWB Kill Some Time to do another scribble down, doodle up drawing session. So yeah, I've already had a bit of a warm up, so I was thinking tonight I might try and draw something from 7 Days to Die. And we're just playing from memory here. But yeah, really, I couldn't decide whether to do something like a zombie or one of the tools or weapons. I kind of wanted to do a stone axe. This in no way is actually one of the stone axes from the game. I'm going to make it as rudimental as possible. I know, if I was to make a stone axe, that would be pretty fun. I'd really get into making one, three-dimensional type stone axe. It's going to have all chips out of it. Because that's how you'd make a stone axe, is chip it up. Oh, that's right, I didn't set up a few things here, did I? I need to pull. No, I won't be able to do that from there because it's on this one. One phone doesn't run second screen very well on it. Oh, hey.
Well, my Horde is about to happen.
HSV, yeah. Good luck with your Horde, buddy. Congratulations on getting 7 Days to Die.
Running elements, okay.
Cool, 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 cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have a scribble. Then I'm gonna pull out something that I might like to work on once I feel warmed up enough. But yeah, just hit me with those questions while you're in there, if you can. I know you'll be busy trying to dodge nasty zombies. But yeah, if you have any more questions about 7 Days to Die, be sure just hit me up. I'll sort you out, buddy. I'm gonna get on there in about 20 minutes. Just a quick, quick blast tonight. That scalloping effect there.
I'm underground burrowing.
Oh, nice. He's a mole. Moling it up. I'm drawing something like wood. I'm constantly thinking of wood. What's in it? How it always spirals. Things grow in spirals. Bumps and notches and all sorts. Try to keep it as natural. Consistent yet inconsistent. It's quite amazing how nature works like that. So yeah, I was watching DWB doing a cool drawing of a well, something out of his imagination. He had a sort of luchador idea in mind. when I'm trying to draw something three-dimensionally, I'm always drawing around what I'm drawing. My lines sort of follow the contours of the item that I'm drawing. I've already chosen my light source, top and lights coming from up there. This little table is really shaky. And so do I get pretty shaky sometimes too. If I haven't eaten or I've had too much sugar or too much caffeine. Had a few cups of tea today. I like to slowly build up my tones, try and get the balance right. As things come towards you, they get darker, so the highest points are going to be the darkest points. Then you'll add shadow over the top and blend out. Or at least that's how I managed to do it.
Can I collect rainwater?
No, you can't. Sorry, you can't. You can get water from snow. Like you can dig up snow and then boil it in a can or in a jar, or you can go take your cans and jars down to a water source like a lake or a pond or whatever, and then get some that way. Otherwise you mainly find bottled murky water in toilets. So yeah, drinking out of the toilet, not the best idea, but when you're strapped for drinking necessities, for a liquid life, toilet water seems alright. In 7 days to die at least. Real life, no thanks. Hey darling. Did you need something? No.
I just thought you meant to pull because the doors were open and everything.
Oh.
You're not going.
No, I'm not.
And I didn't have to rush to make dinner then.
No, you didn't.
Okay, I'm gonna die unless I find some on my final loot.
Ah, yeah. Find some on. Oh, yep. Yeah, there's not much you can do if you're out of water and stuff. That's for sure. Nice that the broadcasting server is back up and running, because yeah, it's going to be cool to do that Horde later. The string here is actually going to come down a little further. want it to look sort of inconsistent, like it's one of your first tries at it. At making a stone axe. After this I might actually do a zombie. Why am I doing a zombie?
Hey VYP.
Hey DWB. Nice to see you, bud. Just trying to draw a stone axe here. A little play. And HSV has just purchased 7 Days to Die on Xbox, and he is on Horde Night. And probably going to die of dehydration. Sad, sad times.
Thanks for visiting earlier. I'm a noob.
Hey, no, it's all good, buddy. I was enjoying watching you draw while I did the dishes and had dinner and all that stuff. Listening to the banter in the chat. It's all good fun. And yes, you are. Yes, you are HSV, but we all started somewhere. You're still kind of a god on GTA 5, so now I'm nowhere near that far along in that game. I don't even have it on PS4, and I got it on PS3. Right. I'm going to go and add some. Oh, I need to add a bit more. The God. Imagine so. Hope this is oh, it's pretty visible. It's pretty visible. I'm going to be darkening a few lines up here. Hopefully not going too dark, because then I have to darken everything. Tone and stuff is very important. Comes to trying to draw something like that. But of course, you know, keeping your controller active is also a bonus. So now I'm going to go back in and turn off that blinging music, because it's going to start up and it's going to be terrible. That's the only thing, you know, I got to have my foot on the controller when I do this, so I can keep wiggling it about and keeping it alive. Or at least turn on the what do you call it? Switch the controller settings so that the controller stays on longer. It's only set to 10 minutes at the moment, obviously. That was about 10 minutes and it crashed. Excusez-moi. I'm drawing rock, so rock is all rocky. Let's do rock everywhere. Most of my art comes from observation of things in real life. I tend to grab something, look up very closely at it, try and see what sort of textures or how it was formed. Depends on different types of rocks, you know, igneous rock and sedimentary rock all form differently, and so of course they have different sort of patterns to them. In the case of a stone axe, you'd probably be wanting to use something like flint, because flint chips really nice and easily. It kind of gets a sharp edge on it. You know, a good artisan would probably want to take some obsidian and use that. apparently I really upset my lady because I did mention I wasn't going to pull practice tonight. I'm absolutely shattered. We just went through daylight saving, and it makes for a very tired me having to get up an extra hour earlier. But she doesn't really listen to me. She's got so much on her mind. Not this. I try my best to listen to her. She's always got something to say. So do I. Now, where's the light gonna be? Let's say under here it's gonna be pretty dark. Actually, if I want this to look more realistic, I want to darken all of this edge here. Can always go back over it with a rubber to try and lighten it back up afterwards. See, I'm trying to make it have a shape of an X as well, even though the chipping formation would kind of do that. Naturally. Balance a few things out here. Onto the string. Whoops. Forgot to spin there. Add the shading to that part. Nice and dark on this side. Try to match up, balance the depth over here. Right in there is going to be pretty damn dark where the light is bouncing around, and can't get in there. Increase contrast here. Try and get some more wood texture going on. Wood is very random in the bark and stuff like that. Once you strip off the bark, it's even new and different textures arrive. Don't really want to do that. Now I've darkened that area too much. Too late now. Need to darken this handle to balance the other side. Like so. Obviously, this thing keeps crashing, so I can't even check me messages there. Sorry about that. So if you're messaging me, I have no clue. Can't even tell if anybody's watching because I'm not even looking at the screen. I got my eyes peeled on this just simple drawing here. I am sort of a one thing at a time sort of guy. So sorry if I missed your messages. I know I'm drawing, I'm very much in the moment. My awareness, or at least my focus is very very refined. Actually adds a lot to when I'm out
That
and
looks
about.
like a mix of stone axe and modern.
It sure does. I'll try to make it my own, eh? It would be how I would make a stone axe in real life. I was thinking of making one for real at some point in the future, but I'd probably use wood and carve it and then paint it to look like stone texture and stuff like that. Just a few finishing touches here.
You need a smudge stick too.
No, I don't. I've got one. These I find are a piece of shit. Yeah. Prefer to use my finger. I think they're for you know, they're just like any tool. You need a lot of practice with them. That's probably a better way. But I find it's as accurate as it is. You can do the same with blue tack. You know, I don't use a rubber. I use blue tack. It works 10 times better. You can shape it. You can press it on. You can do the finest little adjustments using blue tack. Alien technology, that stuff. Blue tack, it's bloody awesome. I'm not quite liking how the scalloping effect is coming out here. I'm just going to darken it up where I think it needs some. There we go. Yeah, way too dark on the screen. From my end, it doesn't look half bad, but
Found an airdrop.
sweet. Oh, for fuck's sake. This fucking thing. This fucking thing just winds me up. Every damn time. Back. Second screen, come on. Second screen, yes. Oh, boy, I gotta start right from the start. Wonder how easy it is to... Yeah. It can't see it. It can't see it. Typical. But yeah, nice to work out the kinks anyway. Oh, press any button to continue. Thank you. And turn that god-awful music off. Don't really have much options in the music department. Won't mind going to and talking to a couple of real musicians. See if they can commercialize some music for me. Oh yeah, now I'm watching the TV screen and actually drawing from there, so it feels a lot like using a digital pad or something. It's pretty out there. Yeah, there we go, Stone X. Obviously can't read that, but I've been playing with the idea of using mirrors. I got a tiny teeny mirror, so And I've actually got a ton of mirrors of that nature. Just they were for different applications, but something like that. Anyway, stone axe, quick as 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. Now I better go talk to my lovely lady, see how angry she is with me. Then I'm going to get on with the Horde tonight. Yeah, nice and easy, stone axe, simple as. Oh look, this is how it happens. This is what happens to me when I draw. I wind up seeing everything wrong with it and just going and going. Till finally, it's the middle of the morning and people want to go to sleep and stuff. I usually get mega interrupted, which is why I haven't been drawing much. I just hate being interrupted. Even just a lovely lady popping in there just pissed me right off. Always does. Unless she's got something creative to say or to add, it really fucks me off. And she is not a creative being. In that sense, she always talks of the mundane. Mundane, the Kardashian shit. Which holds no interest for somebody like me. Here we go, stone axe, yeah, looks okay. Pfft, nah, next time I'll do better. Sorry, gotta wiggle my joystick on my controller, you dirty bastards. Might as well leave a nice picture as my final screen. Something cool here. Oh yeah, here's a nice one. This is the one I actually wanted to work on today, seeing as my lovely lady is interrupted. I will be going to sort her out instead. Oh yes, this beastie. Spending a few hours on this one, I tell you. Where's my piece of paper? I don't like my head in that one. Let's see here. On the screen there, what is wrong with that head? I think it's the jawline. I think that needs to come down a little bit. You obviously won't be able to see any bloody. See, this is how it bloody happens. I get too into drawing. I should probably have my comments up on the screen. It would be a lot easier than skipping between these two pages.
That is cool.
Thanks, Jazz. Hope you're doing well up there.
Are you using a pen?
It's just a it's a pencil, sweetheart. Yeah, mechanical pencil. Oh man.
Okay.
Yeah, mechanical pencil is my favorite thing to use. It's just consistent, always sharp. And easy to repair. Oh, they're expensive to buy though. I've set my light up so that it's good for the camera but terrible for me. So, but this one's really coming out 3D now after around 190 hours.
We are going possum shoring soon, so I got to get ready. Sorry, throwing kisses, throwing kisses, throwing kisses.
Thanks, darling. Well, you have fun possum shooting. Be very careful out there. Follow the instructions carefully. Usually when I draw, I like to have music blasting in the background.
Okay, love you, throwing kisses.
Love you too, darling. Have
Good
fun.
drawing.
Thanks. Hey, Zomblood, PS4 Gaming. Thanks, man. It's a portrait of myself and my brother from a dream I had in 2000.
I've got to run. Got to leave for work in 7 hours. Hopefully after a little sleep I'll feel better.
Yeah, I hope so too, man. Look after yourself, because the flu can be a bastard, I tell you. It's not fun. Not fun at all. Yeah, all the fine details. That's what I really enjoy doing. Overlapping things and then putting in the shading in between. I'm trying to estimate where the light's going to hit and bounce off, and then once I've sort of done this part, I'll scan them at high resolution, put them into Photoshop, and then start colouring them in. Hey, thanks Kid617. Sorry it's upside down at the moment, it's just better angle for my wrist here. I just turned my page to sort of get a better bead on what I'm doing. Because you'll find you're often get in your own way if your arm can't reach, and that's how I get a nice sharp edge on my mechanical pencil. Just do a little shading on a spare piece of paper. I'm using this paper to protect my my work from smudging it and getting grease from my hand all over it. Because the grease affects how the pencil sits on the page. It affects what the way it reacts, and it also changes the colors under certain light. I can see it. Most people don't see it because they're not sort of trained to see. I mean, anybody can be trained to see, though. All they need to do is practice. Obviously, people with eyes can see, but training oneself to see in 3D and then convert to 2D and back again is not something you can do overnight. Obviously, you can be gifted at it. I was not yet. Practice, many years of practice has helped me to do this. The only sad thing is these two sides of his spikes there are different. I'm just trying to bring these spikes into the foreground just by adding a little more, darkening it up a bit. I'll flip it around the right way in a second and do something the other way around, which is going to be his neck line. Because as I darken things, I've sort of got to pull it back, pull back the contrast, bring things out again. Because certain angles, certain perspectives, these really look three-dimensional. Now, there's certain things on this page now that are just popping off at me. I've also found a little problem here. Not a problem, but I've darkened an area. Now I'm just using blue tack here. I've just got a bit of blue tack to try and do some fine rubbing out. Just to build that line. Then I'll go back over and shade it. You know, you can barely see it on the screen here, but it sticks out to me like I've made a massive mistake. So.
Is that pic from a game or freehand?
It's freehand. I just draw out of my memory. Saw this in a dream and needed to draw it. It's a self-portrait of me and my brother. And my dragon, my grand black dragon. Go many places with this dragon.
Awesome.
Thanks, kid. Now, another thing here. Got to try and pull the face away from that cloak, because they seem to be blending into each other from my perspective. So I want to do it in one line, not multiple lines. Otherwise, I'll wind up aging him. So that's looking a little better. Most of what I'm doing you can't see at this point, but I can see it. It's crazy. Bring the nose forward. I'll be darkening under the nose there, just to try and bring it off the page. It seems to have gone flat after I darken things around it. Most of the picture happens really quickly in a few minutes, but all the finishing to make it into a masterpiece, to make it into a completed drawing, that's where the time starts to really tick along, just little by little. Oh, for fuck's sake. And
if I were to describe a dream I had, you think you would want to try and illustrate it sometime?
For about $1,500, I'd give it a shot. For sure. And that's NZ dollars. NZD, so if you're in America, much cheaper. But yeah, I don't, it's so difficult to pull something directly out of somebody else's head. It's so difficult. I can do my own because, you know, because I can see it. Ouch. What if I let you keep it?
Are you going to color it?
Yeah, I am going to colour it. After I finish the pencil drawing, I go back and I scan it onto Photoshop, and I'll colour over the top using a bamboo pad. So, you know, most of the colour, yeah, so that I don't destroy the original. That way I've got an original drawing, which is, you know, I usually put a price tag of somewhere between 7 and 20,000 on something like this, because, you know, just the amount of hours. It's more actually the sentimental value that that really appeals to me. This one's set at A3, so there's your standard A4 size. So not really much when you're talking art, but yeah, I wouldn't want to part with the original as well. So if I'm going to part with it, it's going to be for the right price. But I of course haven't even decided on a price, because I don't decide that till it's finished. And once the colours go into it, then the copies of it, the digital copies and stuff, are much cheaper, much more. You know, I can do those for $10 to $20 each. They're very cheap. So you can print out a copy. And I prefer to send them out rather than send out digital copies at very low res. Yeah, it's coming along. It needs a lot of work on these dragon scales. I'm still working on some research drawings to put the final texturing on these dragon scales, which is going to be uniform across from the dragon along here right through to all the scales on his armor there. But yeah, my brother here, he needs a lot of work. He needs to be as dark, you know, as contrasty and dark as this guy here, as I am. And I need to finish his hands. They've been really tricky. He's got weird hands. This one I don't like. I'm going to be rubbing that hand out again for the probably third time. It's not large enough. The hands are usually as large as a person's head.
Vypran, I dig the talent I used to draw, but gave up and picked up.
Hey, cheers. Hey, Godzilla, thank you. Vypran, I dig talent you draw. Gave up and picked up turntables. Oh, cool, DJ Sundar. I'll drop by and check out your page after the stream. I'll go back through the chat and have a look. Oh, I've got to remember to wiggle the PlayStation joystick so that it doesn't go all wacky on me again. In the meantime, yeah, trying to draw the muscles and stuff on this dragon, because I basically got to invent it from my memory, but which is easy enough, you know, because I saw all this in full 3D color and everything in the dream, so it's not hard to continue with it. It's just trying to remember back.
Put rubber band on it. Tears of joy rolling on the floor, laughing. Tears of joy rolling on the floor, laughing. Tears of joy rolling on the floor, laughing.
On turntables there, HSV? And I'm not sure, man. I don't know what I'd put a rubber band on. Oh, on the controller. Yeah. Now I get you. I've got to, when you're streaming, you've always got to think back 15 seconds. Yep, got you now, bud. Finally worked it out. Well, like I said, I'm not as aware as when I'm playing video games, because video games require very little memory and awareness to do it, in comparison to trying to do something like this. This is, you know, if I had like 8 gigabytes of RAM, I'd be using about 8.5 to do what I'm doing right now. It would be maxing out the GPU and the CPU. It would just be wrecking shit. So because usually I'm thinking of 1,000 things, 1,000 different variables about what I'm drawing. And I'm trying to focus, get that picture in my mind, visualizing what I'm about to do with the textures, with the color. Well, not the color, the tones, I should say. And this one there's no smudging. There's no smudging in this. It's all just layer upon layer of pencil. But yeah, DJ Sundial, you know, lots of people draw when they're younger, and then they drop it because it becomes, you know, it becomes a chore. You know, I never had that. It or you know, or there's somebody better, and you feel like you could never get that good, so you just let it go. But I really don't care what other people think and what other people how good other people are.
I just subbed. Any type of art has always been my passion.
Oh, cool, man. Cheers, DJ. Much appreciated, of course. Yeah, if I could do this all day, it would be amazing. I'm just doing these for the stories.
Wow, looks amazing. Love it.
Hey, thank you, Bloody Dark Lady. Rider of the Black Dragon. Hazenjar. Yeah, I thought I might write a mini story to go with this one. But because the dream was so messed up that I had this this version in, you can't really take the dream verbatim and turn it into a story. So I'll have to use some creative license and fill in some blanks, give it continuity, give it a plot line. Oh, thank you. Thank you. This is what happens when you sit in a room and can't stop bloody drawing. But
Awesome.
I love it. It's a passion. It doesn't require any patience on my part. Merely just to sit down and have everything here. The only thing I'm missing right now is, well, there's two things actually that I am craving right at this moment. One would be a cup of tea or coffee, some sort of caffeine and sugar drink. The second would be a very loud music. And obviously, as we know, there are such things as copyright, and we don't mess with copyright. I wouldn't want my stuff to be stolen, so I suppose, out of respect for that, I wouldn't steal anybody else's stuff. Probably the only thing I actually do try to avoid even plagiarizing ideas. Anything that I do come across, I want to either make it my own, adapt it, change it anyway. So usually after a few minutes in my head, somebody else's idea can become something completely different, and nobody would know the difference between what I thought and what they initially came up with. So
Need to go. You're great. Greetings from Switzerland.
thank you, lady from Switzerland. Much appreciated, and holler back at you from New Zealand. So wonderful to have you drop by my stream today.
And you're nice. Bye.
Cheers. Have a wonderful time. Man, there's a few things here that are bugging me. There are a few things. See, because what's actually happening here? This hand was going off. We were having a power battle, a struggle, as we always do. You know, sibling rivalry is what this brotherly love is what this is called. But it's a picture about sibling rivalry. But yeah, he had his special abilities, which were his. He's got a record here from the turntables. He's got CDs, but they're basically sharpened discs of metal. His Māori culture, which of course we are both Māori here from New Zealand, as represented in the tattoos and his tiki that he wears around his neck. headphones on, tire behind him, and his dog, our dog, actually passed away quite a few years back. Because, like I said, I drew this in, well, I had the dream in 2004, 2005. I can't remember the exact time. It's bloody nearly over 10 years ago. And I've been scribbling away at this for all that time. Just building it up, building it up. You can see how slowly it goes, but then by the end of it, it looks bloody cool. Come up with something new and different. I could just spend days on it. And I was going to do a Horde night stream on 7 Days to Die after this. Because I'm up to Horde 26 on insane mode. And I don't need to do it. They're actually very easy now. I have a good setup base and all that stuff, so the hordes aren't a worry. It's more when I'm out and about. Those are the worrying times, because you can get caught off guard. You can run into things. You have to be environmentally aware of what's going on at all times. You don't have access to an unlimited amount of ammunition, that sort of thing. Oh yeah, no, still need to bring it forward, bring that arm forward more. Let's see how now it's starting to pop forward a bit, just to bring it off that cloak behind his arm. Oh, I see. It's nice to use the television as a reference point too, because it picks up different contrasts that I may not be able to see from my particular angle. So it's like having somebody else look through somebody else's eyes. It's kind of cool. It's not something I've used before, because I haven't done many of these streams yet, and I'm just sort of working out different positions for the camera and how I'm going to use the stream itself. Right. So really what I need to focus on is darkening this hand to bring that forward off his wrist, finish off those bits. And I really want to lighten that hand, but the fact is, once I put the magical sort of spiral effect that I'm going to put around this hand, that's going to be well lit, and it's going to cover up a whole bunch of area there. So I'll probably be building this all up to how I want it to look, and then rubbing it out, if you could believe that, just in that magical pattern, so that it has a real cool effect to it. Also, I have to tie him down here. Until I can finish what's underneath him, I can't really shade in and tie him, ground him to that dragon. He's got a bit of the shadow behind him, because of course the light source is here, and they'll be blasting outwards. But yeah, I really like the look in this dragon's eye. Once this is all coloured, it's going to be pretty damn amazing. In the background, we were actually fighting in a similar setting to the Mines of Moria from Lord of the Rings, but obviously I can't use those exact mines. But the main difference was that there was spiraling, almost Maori designs spiraling up the pillars, and on the floors there was like a flower of life design that repeated over and over from square to square. It was all interlocking and quite amazing. So there's going to be a lot of detail on the floors, and there was actually scattered bits of armor from past battles and stuff that I need to add in as well. But the background shall be pretty dark and ominous. I think that would be a good word for it. So yeah, it was nice to work on that for... Oh shit, it's half an hour. Oh crap. Holy crap. I could probably show one more before I go. I don't know if there'd be one as good as this. Oh, that's pretty cool though. I'll show you a finished one. It doesn't look finished, but once you crop it out, I've actually cropped this one. I just haven't bothered to cut it because I haven't decided how I'm going to frame it yet. I need to make my own frame for this one. It's all in reverse, but yeah, it's from a story that I've been writing. Well, it's completed. The story's completed. The illustrations are not completed. A story called Awaken the Dream. Pretty cool. This took around 220 hours, maybe 260, 280. I get a bit carried away. And it kind of reads like a comic book in that it reads top to bottom, left to right, but I don't have any borders. You know, the borders are made out of sort of random cuts in the scene. I've tried to blend everything together and join it up to make it seamless, but it's all like a jigsaw puzzle that fits together. There's so many faces in the background. You know, you can see down here we've got Benjamin Franklin, Wolverine, Skull, probably Ghost Rider there. Who else is in here? Predator, another Skull over there, if you can see that. Who else we got? A face in the wood just there. Robin Williams is in the trees just back there, but he's actually a little too small for the camera to pick up, because I've had quite a few dreams with Robin Williams, and one of which was right the day before he died. So if I spin it around a bit, hang on, where's another good one? You'll probably be able to see this one here, the spaceman. He's sort of got a space helmet on, kind of see that. Where else are we looking? If I spin it that way, here there's like a demon with his mouth covered. Doesn't say much. And this one is probably my favorite. There is a man's face here, and if I spin it and keep an eye on his nostrils, you wind up with, it flips over into a female's face there now, on the opposite side. So all those sorts of things I really enjoy. Bruce Lee, right about there. Who else have we got? Oh, actually, it's that way. Nice face there that just blends out of the blanket, because, you know, this was yet another dream. I woke up in this dream with my blanket wrapped around me, and proceeded to make my way down this tree, which was entirely green. Like the branches, the trunk was all the sort of every type of hue of green that you could ever imagine. We had these giant fluke worms that were extending out of the water, because this tree grew out of a lake, and these things would reach up and take, you know, once they touch you, they'd sort of poison you, paralyze you, and then drag you down under the water, which was black. It was not water, it was something else. So very dangerous place to be in. So yeah, as you follow the character down, he makes his way through the tree, and then I found this old rusted sword embedded into the tree there. It was quite amazing. And I met this girl who had the same ring as me. Apparently she worked for Captain Planet, so she was an environmentalist. But yes, the story continued. It got pretty out there, that's for sure. I'd like to say thanks for everybody, to everybody that joined me today. I'd like to have a good go at some drawings, but in the meantime, look after yourselves, be kind to one another, and peace.